real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Stephanie Sanchez met the defendant through her boyfriend, and they got along. However, Stephanie claims after they rented an apartment together, they fought constantly, and the defendant even called Stephanie a racial slur. She's suing her former roommate for a key, food, and court costs. Defendant Jessica Bellido says after she moved in with Stephanie, she discovered Stephanie was extremely manipulative and dominating. Jessica claims when she finally stood up for herself, Stephanie started bad-mouthing her to her friends, and then she got physical. Jessica denies owing Stephanie for anything.
Tell me what happened.
We met through our boyfriends, and at first we got along, and we decided to move in together and get an apartment together. Shortly after, we found out that we did not get along, and there's constant arguments and fights, and there was even a point where it got so ugly that she actually threw a racial slur at me, which I found really offensive because she called me a stupid Mexican, and her mom was actually Mexican, so I found no point in what she told me. We just did not get along, and she stopped living there after maybe around June, and she would not sleep there. And she knew my time of work hours, and there was even a time where she actually came in and got all my food out of the refrigerator.
How long did you all live together at that point?
That was approximately 9 months.
You all had lived together 9 months.
Uh-huh.
And then she moved?
She was not staying at the apartment at night.
If she lived together 9 months, you all were living together. She did stay there?
Yes.
So she moved?
She was not staying there at night. She would only be staying there. She would go when I used to be at work and start messing with stuff around the apartment.
She was on the lease?
Yeah.
All right. She moved when the lease was up?
Yeah.
All right. And why don't you give me some background?
Okay. First of all, she's right. We met through our boyfriends, and we shortly found out that we did not get along. The reason for that was because she was very manipulative, bossy. She practically acted like she was my mother at one point, told me how to handle my relationship with my boyfriend. I took it for a while until I got fed up with it.
What do you mean you took it?
As in, I was very nice about it. I would just hear her out, and I was very cooperative with her. She had a very dominating personality.
Why did you cooperate?
I'm sorry?
Why did you cooperate?
Because for the sake of the peace in that apartment, I didn't want any drama at first. And eventually I got fed up with it, and I started standing up for myself, and I started being defensive towards her. So I started doing as I wanted, not as she wanted. So when that happened, she did not like it. So she retaliated against me.
How?
First off, she would talk very badly behind my back all the time to my boyfriend, to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend would communicate with my boyfriend because they worked together.
What would they say to her when she is talking about you?
I'm not sure what her boyfriend said. I know for a fact that my boyfriend, though, however, he would usually try to stay out of it for the sake of not causing more than what's already happening.
So when she would talk to him, your boyfriend, negatively about you, you think he just listened, or?
He did, and he was also her friend, so he tried to stay out of it. But however, I would get mad because, I mean, at that point I had done a lot for him, and there was, like I said, there was a lot of instigating through her that just caused even more tension.
Just tell your boyfriend in the future, stick up for me, boyfriend, when somebody's talking behind my back like that, particularly when they're talking to you.
Exactly.
I know you're her friend, but we don't do the same things, do you?
Well, we were never friends. I never considered her a friend.
You
she was an acquaintance.
Her and your boyfriend were friends.
Correct, yes.
Right, so you need to explain. I know she's your friend, but we have a different type of friendship.
Exactly. That's exactly, like I said, at first I was very peaceful about it. I tried to let it run by me until I just started getting fed up with it, and I started defending myself, started retaliating against him, against her, and I just basically started doing what I wanted to do, not what she wanted, because she is not my mother. She can't tell me what to do. So when that happened, more and more disagreements would happen. I mean, we got to a point where we had such a ridiculous disagreement that she got physical with me. She pushed me, she put her hands on me, and she got on top of me. If it wasn't because of her boyfriend stopped her, I was just holding back because I knew once I you know, I would lay hands on her, I probably wouldn't be able to stop. Like I said, there was a lot of instigating through her that just caused even more
just tell
tension.
your boyfriend in the future, stick up for me, boyfriend, when somebody's talking behind my back like that, particularly when they're talking to you.
Exactly.
I know you're her friend, but we don't do the same things, do you?
Plaintiff Stephanie Sanchez is suing her former roommate, and she claims during a fight, the defendant called her a racial slur.
How does she owe you for a key and food?
Well, when we first got the lease, they gave us 2 keys. And because our boyfriends were living with us, I went ahead and made my boyfriend a key. And her and her boyfriend going back and forth, trading off that one single key. And when she wouldn't be home, when he wouldn't be home, she'd go to the management company and get a master key. And that master key, she ended up losing because towards the end of the lease, she did not turn it in. And over, I would constantly tell her that she needed to turn it in. And living with her was basically like living with a child. Some of the issues she's bringing up is because most of the time it was everything about cleaning, you know? Once there's mold in the dishes, it's time to get rid of it. The bills, I was constantly telling her
You
what
have to
was
wait until mold before you wash dishes?
No, like I was telling her to throw it out because she never washed anything.
But if you sit there and watch it molding,
yeah, before it would get to that point.
You don't just say, well, it's her turn. Let it mold.
No, actually,
let roaches come into the house, rats, mice.
No,
because it's her turn.
Actually, no, we would throw out those dishes. Even the refrigerator, we were constantly on that. But there was times where it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, up to what point is she gonna do this? So that was those were the basic issues that we were constantly having about when the bills were due, and also cleaning up after yourself, which I think it's common knowledge about when you're living with someone to have that kind of respect.
Okay, and the key once again, and the food.
She never returned the key.
And were you charged for the key?
It came out of the security deposit, and that I think should have came out from her pocket personally, not the security deposit. And then also with the food situation, it's not really the food that bothers me, it's more or less the retaliation that she had to get everything out. I'm suing her for the cost of it, and it's not really
cost of the food?
Yes.
Okay, some food you purchased, she did what?
She took it out of the refrigerator because she said the refrigerator was hurt. To my knowledge, you're only allowed to have one refrigerator in the apartment.
Okay, she took your food out of the refrigerator.
Out of the refrigerator.
And did what with it?
She threw it all over the apartment.
Okay, and when you mentioned it to her, what did she say?
There was no talking to her at that point because we were not getting along.
And you all were still living there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also have a note that she left me that had profanity on it.
Okay, you can't sue her for profanity.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, at this point, like, how can you talk to someone that leaves those kind of notes?
Gotcha. The information on the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hear from you.
Actually, this specifically, there's a reason. I'm sure she's not going to mention that, but we were both not supposed to be living there because you manipulated your parents to come to my parents' house.
Ma'am, you did live there. So now what? What do you want to say about the key and the food?
The food. I'm talking about right now the food. First off, that food, that was my fridge that I purchased.
Food. We're talking about the food.
The food. The reason why I'm giving you the reason.
We didn't say refrigerator. Food.
Okay. The food was in my refrigerator, and the reason.
Who owned the food?
I took it out, but I'm giving you the reason
why. All right, you're being evasive with your answer. One last time, who purchased the food?
She did.
All right, then if you destroyed the food that she purchased, why don't you think you should pay for it?
I didn't destroy it, I took it out.
And scattered it across the floor?
Yes.
Why did you scatter it across the floor?
Okay, we had an agreement. Her parents...
No, why did you scatter it?
She wasn't supposed to be living there. Both of us
so that was retaliation, and I think you did that maliciously, so I'm going to charge you for it. What about the key?
The key... The key, actually, she never tried to contact me about that specifically.
All right, landlord contacted her and charged her, and so therefore you must pay your share. Have a good day. $230. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Because she has an issue with me that she doesn't let go in the past. It's in the past. She still continues to harass me over Facebook. And then I have to block her and her boyfriend.
Were you supposed to be living there? That's why you had your parents come to my house, right?
Because you could
not arrange,
tell
her. So you weren't supposed to be staying there, right?
We could not get along.
So you weren't supposed to be staying there either, though, right?
We're trying.
Why wasn't I be able to? But you were staying there with your boyfriend.
You guys would not agree.
That's like, honestly, you're the biggest hypocrite. That's why you were growing weed in with Nick, right? Yep.
Really.